Hello my friends, and welcome back to our channel. Home is where our heart is. My name is Dane, author of this series of books, Knowledge to Forage. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and thank you all for joining me here today, where I'm absolutely blessed to be spending my morning out frolicking along this river bank that's absolutely covered in an abundance of one of the most deadly plants in the world. And this plant goes by the name of Hemlock water dropwort. Hemlock water dropwort is feared by foragers, and it's a famous poison all throughout history. But it's easy to avoid its grisly fates if we just learn how to understand and respect this plant. So if you're interested, then come for a little walk through the countryside with me, and we'll dive into the world of the Hemlock water dropwort. So here we have an absolutely beautiful and thriving example of Hemlock water dropwort. You can see how it's growing in abundance down the side of this river. We can't even see the river itself, but we know it's there because it's absolutely covered in a flowing sea of white flowering umbels. Now, Hemlock water dropwort grows in abundance across Europe, and there's 4 other types of water hemlock that you could find in Northern America. You have the bulb-bearing water hemlock, the western water hemlock, the spotted water hemlock, and the northern water hemlock. And they're all deadly poisonous in their own unique and special ways. And they all look very similar too. Why? Because they're in the carrot family, and the carrot family tend to have these unique white flowering umbels. The carrot family is one of the most dangerous families when it comes to things like foraging for wild food. Many members of this family are toxic, and they all look super similar. If we look at an edible related species here, for example, we have cow's parsley and Hemlock water dropwort look very, very similar, and it takes deep study to learn how to tell the difference between different members of the carrot family. This is why many foragers completely avoid harvesting plants from the carrot family. They consider the risk of getting poisoned far too high. Now, what makes Hemlock water dropwort even more dangerous is because it actually smells and tastes nice. Unlike many poisonous plants, say for example, the buttercup, if I was to eat this, it would taste disgusting and bitter, whereas the Hemlock water dropwort actually tastes nice, like parsley. This is why so many people are able to be poisoned by this plant, because it shows no mercy. If you made a soup of this, it would taste delicious. Now, Hemlock water dropwort is completely poisonous from root to tip, but it's the root that contains the most poison. And when you dig them up, it looks kind of like a hand. This is why Hemlock water dropwort is also commonly known as dead man's fingers. Now, without sugarcoating it, if I was to accidentally eat this plant, it would cause me an absolutely agonising death. You see, this has a compound in it called ananthotoxin, and it's this toxin, this neurotoxin, that will cause me an absolutely crippling death. If I was to consume this and get this plant within my body, I'd be agonisingly ill, I'd become super disorientated, and my voice would become paralysed. I'd start to seizure very tightly, and then ultimately my face would grip so hard that I'd get what's called a sardonic grin, and I'd drop dead. And what's really creepy about this plant is this smile, this sardonic grin doesn't leave the face after death. You will find my body lying in the middle of the countryside with a big smile on its face. Now, it's with this creepy, deathly smile, the sardonic grin, does our history lesson begin. You see, the word sardonic today is used to describe a mocking smile. If someone watches you fall over and you see they're giving you a cruel smile at your expense, this is a sardonic grin. And the word sardonic itself descends from a little island off of Italy called Sardinia, and it's in Sardinia in the pre-Roman days where they used to execute prisoners and the elderly with Hemlock water dropwort. Sardinia, the sardonic grin. This sardonic grin, the tight smile after death caused by the hemlock water drop wart, is famous today in horror movies, and it also inspired characters such as the Joker, the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
So the big question is, how do we avoid death by hemlock water drop wart? Well, that's pretty simple. Firstly, we learn how to identify hemlock water drop wart. It has these bright, brilliant white umbels with these tiny, smaller little bundles of white flowers on top. Its stem is round, it's green with these grooves, multiple grooves running all the way down it. And when you look at the leaves, they all come off on these tiny stems, and then you have individual little leaves with deep lobes. They look very similar to hawthorn leaves. Now, to finish on a positive note, it's not all doom and gloom and death and historic poison when it comes to hemlock water drop wart, because just like everything in nature, it plays its own special role in the balance of our world. When we get up close and have a good look at hemlock water drop wart, we can see it's absolutely covered in insect life. Beetles, moths and butterflies absolutely adore this plant, and the compounds within that would kill us if we consumed it are also being studied by doctors in the hopes that they may be able to help people suffering with muscle paralysis. So there we have it, people. Hemlock water drop wart, one of the world's most deadly plants, will leave us dead with a smile on our face, provides an abundance for wildlife, but can also potentially fix the future smiles too. As always, it's been a pleasure. Don't forget to like, comment and share this video to help our nature-inspired education spread across the land. Check out our awesome series of books, Knowledge to Forage, and sign up for our follow-along foraging to receive our monthly educational subscription packs. But most importantly of all, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.
Hemlock water drop wart has a terrifying historic fame, once upon a time the sardonic herb being its name. With its sweet parsley-like smell and similar looking leaves, this plant left a smile on the face of many ancient thieves.